All right. So this video is going to be on thinking, more specifically overthinking, right? This has definitely been a crutch of mine in the past, for sure, being more of a analytical person and an analytical mind, but it's not always super helpful, right? Especially if it gets you out of your, execution mode, if you will. So I think everyone's had a time in their life where you've thought or overthought about something so much that you actually ended up doing nothing. And this could be for a business that you wanted to start. It could be for a college that you wanted to go to, or even going to college in the first place, right? Where do I work right out of school? Do I go to college? What have you, right? This can really cripple you, right? If you let it. And it's like that old adage, analysis paralysis, or vice versa. You think so much that nothing ever gets done. And you become the guy that 20 years later is still doing the same exact thing. And you didn't execute on any of the things that you said that you were going to do, right? So this can really lead to missed opportunities, obviously wasting a lot of time. And, in my opinion, thinking less doesn't mean that you're careless or reckless, but it really just depends on how purposeful you are with your action and your steps moving forward, right? So when it comes to the thought process, right, if you think about it, right, if you overanalyze every decision, right, you're thinking about fear, right? You're feeling fear about anything. It could be failing at something new, or for me, it's usually about wanting everything to align perfectly and to act perfectly. So every single step must be perfect, right? Some of you can probably understand that, instead of just starting the execution, right? So if you had a good idea, okay, maybe for a business, let's just say, and you delay it because something's not 100% there, it's not 100% perfect, okay? Or if you told yourself, right, we're still in the new year, that January 1, you were going to get in the gym for the first time, or you were going to lose 20 pounds, what have you, but your fitness routine isn't 100% perfect, right? It could be a little bit better with the upper body, right? Or you don't like the pull-ups. Really, it doesn't matter what it could be. The not starting is what's going to cripple you in the long term, right? So spending so much time, again, analyzing on things that you never act. So that overthinking starts to breed doubt, hesitation, again, fear. The more that you sit in fear, the less likely that you're going to act, right? It's like if you wanted to go ask out a girl that you thought was attractive and you keep thinking about it, not acting, what's the actual likelihood that you're going to go do it? It's really minimal to none. So don't be stuck deciding while other folks are, acting day to day. They're executing, right? So the power of this, as far as thinking less, the focus turns from overthinking to action instead of perfection, right? So instead of, I need the perfect workout routine, I'm just going to get in the gym, start moving my body, and go from there, right? Because the action of getting to the gym starts to retrain your brain, right? It starts to create new, literally neural pathways that you started a new habit, to where it's easier on the day-to-day throughout each week to continue that process. And then you can refine it as you go along, right? I don't know many business folks. I don't know many, weightlifters or gym folks, let's just say, that started with a perfect physique, right? I actually know none. I definitely did not. And I don't have one right now, but it's a lot better than when I started, right? So that's kind of the whole point I'm trying to get at, is you're not going to start and be 100% there, right? Whether, again, business, gym with your fitness goals, it's the step-by-step, eating an elephant one bite at a time kind of adage, right? So emphasizing that is super crucial. Also, the progress, again, beats perfection every time. So it goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. Just put one foot in front of the other day after day. If you miss a day, that's okay. Don't let it ruin your whole month or your whole year. Don't just quit, right? Because that's what most folks will do. January 1st comes around, let's just say with the gym, and they're okay for 2 weeks, and then the third and the fourth week gets a bit harder. There's literally a quitter's day. I think it's the second Friday of January. They have a day named after it, right? Don't let one day or even 1 week ruin your month or your whole year. You can still win the month, right, with 3 weeks doing what you need to do. Okay, so that winner's mindset has to come through. Okay. Also, think about the 80-20 rule, right? I think a lot of folks have heard about this, but really what it means is most of your results are going to come from key actions. So 80% of the results are going to come from 20% roughly of the actions. So how efficient are you in those 20%? That's going to yield you the 80% results. Okay. That's a key there too. Right? Another thing is getting into this habit of making quick decisions that are smaller in scale. So it could be as simple as something that you're going to eat for dinner, right? Or if you're going to go out to eat, what restaurant you're going to go eat at. Make that decision quicker than not, because that will retrain your brain to start acting more of the decision maker that you want to be, or the doer, instead of just the overanalyzer or the overthinker, right? Again, starting small. And I know it seems trivial maybe, but even something simple like that, restaurant that I want to go to, a park that I want to go walk at, right? Or a workout that I want to go do. They all fall in line hand in hand because you're going to train yourself to become that doer, right? And that action taker, right? By thinking less, right? So in addition to that, right, a lot of the clarity when you do just start, whether again, it's in the gym, a new business, that clarity is going to come about after you start, after you put your foot in front of the other, right? One foot in front of the other. Okay. Think of it almost as a sculptor. You can't shape a stone, okay, until you start chipping away at it. If it's a rectangular stone and you want to make, like a Roman sculpture, right? You have to start at one chip at a time. Okay. So think of a sculptor, right? Now, a couple other key things that you can do: set timelines, right? Set timelines for making a decision, whether it be simple or difficult, right? If you want to get into the gym and you need a routine, pick one by the next week latest, or even the next day. Depends on how aggressive you want to be. Okay. You can use things like pros and cons. That's definitely helped me in the past as well, outweighing pros versus cons, because everything is going to have pros and everything will have cons, typically. Okay. Unnecessary choices, right? Like removing stuff from either your house, your mind, putting it down on paper helps tremendously, right? It's that old adage, out of sight, out of mind. So if you have a thought come in, I used to keep a small notepad around with me, especially when I used to work in the office a lot more. And any thought that would come down that was of value, I would put it on paper. So I never had to re-engage that or try to remember what that was. So eliminating the mental clutter is just as big to physical, right? And that'll help you make clearer, more concise, quicker decisions that you're looking for, right? And then probably the biggest one, at least for me, and I would assume a lot of you, is reframe quote unquote failure as the learning opportunity that you needed. Okay. No business person that has multiple successful businesses had a 100% hit rate, right? 100% success rate. Usually it's below 50%, which in school, right, would be failing, right? So don't be afraid of that failure, because the learning and the growth that you're going to get from it just by taking daily action time and time and time again, right? is going to help you grow far more than you ever could thought, that you ever could have thought possible by just sitting at home, not taking action, while the next person that is doing that is blowing by you in all levels that you actually wanted to do. So don't let that happen, right? At the end of the day, thinking less doesn't necessarily mean being reckless. It's a tool, right? Your mind is a tool, and it's just as powerful as how you use it. So don't let that fear and doubt stop you from acting, because you're going to fail. And as long as you accept that at the end of the day, that, I'm going to have failures here and there, right? And I'm not going to be 100% perfect, right? You will win at the end of the day. Just don't quit. That's all I got for this one. I'll see y'all in the next one.